Hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about remarketing and the implications that the coming iOS 14 update will have on remarketing. If this video was helpful to you, don't forget to like, subscribe and ask your questions in the comments. We have all experienced this. You go to a website, for example, to check out an Airbnb or another physical product, and all of a sudden the stuff keeps blowing up in your social media and everywhere you go on the internet. That's called remarketing, and in this video we will explain you how it works. Remarketing, also known as retargeting, is the tactic of serving targeted ads to people who have already visited or taken action on your website. This definition is pretty good, but it is not quite complete because remarketing can also apply to people that have visited your app or your social media, allowing you to retarget those people afterwards. How does remarketing work? Let's assume a user lands on your website and you have all the necessary tracking pixels installed on this website. All major platforms have something called a tracking pixel. Once you have their tracking pixel on your website, the pixel allows you to track user behavior from people that landed on your website through one of these platforms. Let's assume that a person lands on your website and, this is very important, accepts your cookies. This will trigger the pixel to start tracking user behavior. This user behavior can go from the time that you spend on the website over to signups, purchases, all kinds of conversion and events are possible. If you want to know more about tracking pixels, we are going to link our blog posts about this subject down in the comments. With the tracking pixel installed, you can do three things. First, you can analyze the performance that your social media has in terms of sending traffic to your website. Secondly, you can optimize your paid ads for certain conversions, for example, a newsletter subscription or a purchase. And last but not least, it allows you to do remarketing. Normally, remarketing works with audiences. So you define certain criteria and tell the platform and the pixel to put everyone that fits this criteria in one custom audience. These custom audiences are normally based on either URLs or events. In terms of events that happened on the website, like for example, a registration, a newsletter sign up, or a purchase. In order to give you a better understanding of this, let's dive into the Facebook Business Manager and have a look at the possibilities we have for creating custom audiences. So we are now in the Facebook Business Manager, and as you can see, we have two different options. We can either use our own sources or we can use Facebook sources. So let's start with the website source. This source allows you to create an audience based on the website visitors from your Facebook pixel. So if we open this, first we will have to make sure that our pixel is active, which is indicated by the little green dot in front of the pixel name. Then we choose the criteria that defines which people we want to put in this audience. So for example, we can target all website visitors, we can track people who visited specific web pages, we can track people that spent a certain amount of time on your website, or we can choose events like page views, view content, leads, and much more. Lastly, we have to tell Facebook which time period to use. The maximum you can go back is 180 days. And after that, we just need to name our audience and we're technically good to go. Let's say we want to put everybody in a custom audience that visited a specific website. So if I type in the keyword Facebook, this method here would allow me to put everybody that visited a URL with Facebook in it in one custom audience and retarget them with Facebook related content. Next up, we have the customer list, which allows you to create a custom audience by uploading a list of customers who've interacted with your business. So basically you're going to upload a list of email addresses, and the only thing that you need to be aware of is that the customer has to use the same email address on their Facebook account than the one that you upload in this sheet. Next up, we have app activity, which allows you to retarget people that have downloaded your app and done specific actions in your app, like for example, completing a purchase. Next up, we have offline activity. So offline activity allows you to create an audience of people who have interacted with your business in store using, for example, GPS signals. Next up, we have Facebook sources. So this means that we can create custom audiences based on what people did in the Facebook app or the website. So first up, we got videos, which is one of my favorites. So we can create an audience of people that watched one or more videos for a certain amount of time. For example, let's say you're watching this video on Facebook. I could create a remarketing audience of all the people that watched this video for more than 75%, which allows me to create a target audience that is most likely very interested in what we're talking about in this video. If we go in there, you can see that first I can choose which people want to target. Let's say people who watched at least 75% of our video. Then we can choose the video. Let's go with the campaign optimization video for this example. And by the way, you can choose one or more videos to put in one custom audience. So if you just want to retarget everybody that has seen more than 75% of any videos, you could put them all in the same custom audience. Next up, we have the Instagram account, so we can create an audience of people who visited or interacted with our Instagram account. This requires you to have a creator or business account. You cannot do this with your private account. Again, if we open this, you can see that we can retarget everybody that engaged with your professional account, anyone who visited your professional account's profile, people who engaged with any post or ad, people who sent a message to your account, or people who saved any post or ad. Lead forms allow us to create audiences of people who opened or completed one of our Facebook or Instagram lead forms, which can be very, very useful. Custom audiences about events allow us to create custom audiences of people who have interacted with one of our events on Facebook. Instant experience allows you to create audiences of people who opened your instant experiences on Facebook or on Instagram. Next up, we have the Facebook page. You can create an audience with everyone that engaged with your Facebook page, which is pretty straightforward. Next up, we have shopping. So you can create audiences of people who interacted with your products in a shopping experience on Facebook or Instagram. So you need to have a product catalog integrated on Facebook for this to work. And last but not least, we can retarget anyone that engaged with one or more of our listings on the Facebook market. So to sum up what we just said, remarketing custom audiences allow you to create remarketing audiences for people that visited, for example, a specific website, that interacted with your brand on the internet, that watched a specific video, or that made a concrete action like a purchase on your website. So technically, we could create a custom audience containing everybody that has bought a specific product from a website, let's say a camera, and use remarketing ads to show them additional product like a flash or a stand, for example. Many businesses, for example, use remarketing ads of people that added products to their carts and didn't buy them, to retarget them with special offers and promotion to make that conversion happen. Another possibility is to create video content like this one, boost it to show it to a broad audience, and use a remarketing custom audience to maintain all the people that watched more than 75% of it. This allows you to retarget a highly engaged audience that knows who you are and that are interested in what you have to say. So if you need more convincing about why you should be using remarketing, let me help you out. First of all, we have the rule of 7. The rule of 7 in marketing basically says that before a person makes a conversion on your website, for example, they need to see your content at least 7 times to even notice you. This is very hard if you just continuously play your content to a broad audience. However, if you use a remarketing funnel for this, you can actually retarget those people and get your content in front of them over and over again. Just make sure you don't spam them. So remarketing can be used to build a relationship with your audience by repeatedly creating value and delivering it to them, but it can also be used to gently guide them through your funnel and have them complete specific actions that are profitable for your business. So as you can guess, there are a lot of different approaches, strategies, and tactics to actually do remarketing, and your job is to find out which one works best for you and for your audience. So if you want to know more about remarketing strategies in another video, please just let us know in the comments. And now comes the hot topic, iOS 14. In early 2021, Apple released their iOS 14 update, and with it come a lot of new features and restrictions that are going to have implications on how we do remarketing. Not all of these features are completely rolled out yet, so a lot of the long-term effects on the market are quite speculative, but let me give you an overview and run you through what this is really about. The effects of the iOS 14 update will only come into fruition over the coming weeks and months, speaking of now being January 2021. Basically, one of the core features of this new update is the ATT, which is short for App Tracking Transparency. What this does is that over time, all iOS 14 users will have the possibility to opt out of traffic via a integrated pop-up in your iPhones. This means that if you open the Facebook app, for example, there will be a pop-up that asks you if you want to be tracked or if you want to completely opt out of tracking and thus opting out of customized ads. This will affect 4 major Facebook events. First, landing page views. As you might know, on Facebook you have the possibility to either run click campaigns or optimize for landing page views. The difference being that with the landing page views, the pixel will actually track if the website has been loaded and actually viewed by the user, whereas a click campaign will only send a user to a website. The same goes for conversions. So in order for Facebook to know if a conversion happened on your website, they need the pixel data. If an iOS 14 user opted out, this data is not available. App installs will be affected. Same thing, if an iOS 14 user opens your app and opts out of the tracking, there will be no communication between the pixel and your application. Last but not least, we have catalog sales. So if you make a purchase in Facebook while being opted out of the tracking, Facebook will no longer be able to show you this. So this is not going to only affect your remarketing and targeting, it is also going to affect your reporting, because those actions still take place. iOS users still might buy from you on your website. The difference being that you will not see it in your Facebook backend. So if you go to your business manager and open your pixel reports, you will not see any sales or conversions that have been done on an iOS 14 device that opted out of the process. Another big difference is that in the future, your tracking pixels will not be linked to your ad accounts anymore, but they will be linked to specific domains. So you will have to verify your domain in order for this pixel to be connected to your website. The conversion events are going to be minimized to 8 events maximum. This means that you can only track 8 different events, and it also means that events are going to be prioritized. So let's say you have one add to cart, for example, followed by a purchase. Only the purchase will be registered. You will not see the add to cart. So before we go, I want to give you a few tips of how you can anticipate the effects that iOS 14 will have. The first thing you should do is verify your domain and connect your pixel to it. If you haven't verified your domain yet, go and do it now. Secondly, you can do a deep dive in your analytics and actually have a look at your data. The goal is to find out how many of your purchases and conversions are actually coming from Apple users, and thus allowing you to prepare that this chunk of traffic might be less trackable and might not occur like this in the future. Also, you should already start and make up your mind about which 8 conversion events you want to use, because as I said, they will prioritize each other. So depending on your choice, you can make or break your strategy. Next up, you should get familiar with UTM tracking in order to bypass the tracking problems that are going to come with iOS 14. If you want to deep dive on UTM tracking, check out our article down in the comments. In order to bypass this tracking problem, what you can do is you can start building your own email list. This allows you to remarket or retarget those people by sending them emails rather than retargeting them through ads, which in return allows you to, for example, measure the conversion rate of your emails. The last thing you can do is firstly get educated, and secondly educate your peers and your clients. So if you know anyone that needs to know this, feel free to share this video with them and let them know what's coming. If you liked this video and if it was helpful to you, make sure to follow us on social media and head over to neonacademy.io and check out our free online marketing fundamentals course. Bye guys, and I hope to see you on the platform.